Alright, this is Haga here from Ludi Games, and I couldn't find anybody doing a good tutorial on how to do the fire from fucking Zelda. Zelda fire is hot, it's absolutely unbelievable, looks totally sick, gotta figure out how to do it. Couldn't sleep until I could figure it out, worked on this thing for about 20 hours. Don't speak Japanese, don't know anybody at Nintendo, had figured out the hard way. Basically by throwing darts at a fucking wall until something worked. I'm gonna walk you guys through this step by step. I'm using Unity, using shadergraph. You can do this in any engine, although if you're not using Unreal, if you're not using Unity, it's very likely that you're going to need an engineer to help you make this material and put it into the game. So without further ado, let's jump into this motherfucker. I'm going to show you guys how to crush it. Alright, first things first, the texture is very simple. It's very simple. It's like a pear, a red pear. I'm going to run through some of the other shit I tried. Every single one of these other attempts was complete garbage. None of them worked at all. It was really frustrating. There's about 6 more textures you guys aren't seeing. I didn't really want to show you all those, but I can just tell you that they're worse. The best texture for this technique is something very, 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 very simple. And it's going to need to be pretty high res to prevent some artifacting. So key points there. Now there's going to be a link in the description that'll show you how to enable shadergraph in Unity. But pretty much the principle here is we're going to be using multiple noise textures multiplied against each other. And this is a technique that Julian Love over at Blizzard was kind enough to teach me. It's something that I use every day. The multiply technique is very powerful. It's very powerful at simulating real dynamic noise. You can kind of see what I'm doing here is I'm using 2 voronoi textures, 2 voronoi noise patterns, multiplying them against each other, changing up their cell size, changing up the randomness of it to kind of get a sort of an interesting pattern. And then I'll multiply that against a simple noise at an interesting scale to kind of get that sort of dirty, random kind of look. Very, very important. And the last part, of course, is going to be when you connect all the nodes together to pan them on the V coordinate in the negative direction according to time. And what that's going to let it do is you're going to pan them all at different rates. You got 3 textures. You're going to pan them all at different rates. And you just want to tune that until it looks good. Right now, because we're not plugging it into the final texture, there's not really a lot of point into polishing it. We're just going to get it set up because that's going to let you tune it when you finally see it against the texture. And what you're going to see here at the end is sort of this interesting, muddy, kind of scrolling, noise pattern that's different every time you look at it. And that's super important to kind of creating the final effect because this is going to be added into the UV channel. All right, so where do we plug this in? Well, we're going to create our 2D texture node, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you just plug this noise pattern directly into the UV channel of the texture. So we're going to pull that texture in, which is version 70, and we're going to plug in the UV, and you're going to see like, wow, that really sucks. That looks terrible. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, we should try to plug it into the the color and alpha channel, kind of get an idea of what it looks like, And I spoiler alert, it looks terrible. So, bang, bang, yeah, that's real bad. So clearly there's another step we have to do. And really the secret is that we're not adding in a UV channel. We're just plugging it directly into the UVs. Like we have to add that on top of a standard UV channel. So let's do that real quick. You're going to make an add node, all right? Then you're going to make a UV node or a tiling and offset node, and you're going to add that together. And you're going to get this. So already with just that one move, we've got something that looks totally terrible, but is actually much closer than the previous version. And that's the name of the game here. And anything in life, it's always, one step closer, 1 foot in front of the other. So although it still looks terrible, you can't get discouraged yet. I will take you to the promised land. Just hang in there, guys. All right, one of the things that sucks is that the texture is being distorted uniformly from north to south, which means I need to find a creative way to sort of create a ramp texture to multiply that into the final result to sort of alpha out the UV distortion towards the bottom. And I do that by separating out a UV channel here. It's pretty clever. It works. You can do it with the texture too. It doesn't really matter. And I think this helps a lot. This is definitely something that they're doing in Zelda for sure, 100%. So I know I need to add some more polish steps here. The noise doesn't seem to come out enough, so I'm going to go ahead and add some contrast to that. Give it more of a fiery look, but there's still something wrong with it. There's a couple things wrong with it. If you use your damn eyeballs, son. Does that look like fire? No, it's not even close. We got a lot to do here. We got a lot to figure out. One of the core problems with it so far has been that the multiply has been going against the V and the U. So I'm going to separate the multiply out by creating a new vector 2, multiply it against the V direction, although I think I got this backwards here. Yeah, that's U. Dummy. Reverse it. Yeah, so V, you want it to go vertical, multiplied against, and now that's starting to look a lot more like fire. It's looking like bubble fire, you know? But you can kind of tweak these values and you get some interesting results here. So I thought that's kind of fun. So what needs to happen now is I need to reverse one of these voronoi textures so that it looks a lot less like bubbles and is a lot more angular. One of the reasons I went with this instead of a normal noise texture is because you can get this sort of angularity. And when I invert it and plug it in, you're kind of going to see what I mean here. Let's see if I actually do this correctly. I don't think I do this right yet. But okay, so it's inverted already. It looks like a bubble, but because it's being multiplied, it's going to have a little bit different of an effect than you think. So I think that's the wrong one. I think it actually needs to be the smaller one that needs to be multiplied. So I'm going to try plugging that in. You kind of see, I want to leave this stuff in because you can guys get an idea. This is a lot of trial and error. And this is me recreating the effect that I went and already trial and errored on. So effects is all trial and error. You just don't quit until it looks good. That's the real name of the game here. Really the kind of the name of the game with anything in life. Pro life tip, don't quit. But yeah, so, oh, okay, there we go, right? So now you reverse that one texture, and now it's starting to look a hell of a lot more like fire. And I pretty much think we're damn near there. So I'll leave you guys with just the rest of me in this video, sort of tweaking it with the various values. And, you know, if you have any questions, just email me, haga@ludi.games, or you can message me on Facebook or on Instagram. However you'd like to reach me, I'm more than happy to help you out with anything you want to make. So I had a lot of fun with this. If you guys have anything else in games that you're like, how the hell did they do that? Just let me know, and I can break it down for you and recreate it, and I can do another one of these videos for y'all. So thanks so much for watching, and I don't want to see any more lame fire. Let's use this to level up all the fire in our games. You know what I mean? Thanks to the Japanese over there at Nintendo. Thank you guys. All right, good luck, y'all.